It looks like if the rumors are true, Clayface will make his live-action debut in the Batman sequel, in addition to a previously rumored Joker appearance. The interesting aspect is that Clayface is one of those Batman characters that are far removed from the realism we've seen in the last few Batman films. The Nolan trilogy had no villains with superpowers, while the Snyder Batman had listed the first encounter with metahumans to coincide with the appearance of Superman. So aside from the campy Batman and Robin movies of the 90s, the Batman franchise has largely tried to remain grounded in the real world and avoid having Batman confront superpowered villains. That being said, I think this appearance could go in a couple ways, including a more horror-themed version that has been pitched by horror director Mike Flanagan, known for his series The Haunting of Hill House and Midnight Mass. Or it could be a more grounded psychological version of the character similar to how the Riddler was portrayed in the first film. But first things first, who is Clayface anyway? That could be a very long video considering DC has like 8 versions of the character, but I do think DC will focus on either Basil Karlo or the Batman the Animated Series version of Matt Hagen, as I think their characterization worked better for this. Basil Karlo, an actor, applied a chemical called Renu on his face after a car crash that resulted in the irreparable damage to his face. Renu was not meant for human skin, but he was able to mold his scarred visage back to his former self. When Renu ran out, he broke into Daggett chemical factories until he was caught by Batman. He was asked to testify against the corrupt Daggett, but instead he tried to rob a police evidence locker. In the resulting scuffle, he was accidentally doused in dozens of cans of shattered Renu, turning him into the villain Clayface. Clayface is a powerful villain in Gotham City, able to transform his body into anything and blend into any crowd. His transformational powers allow for him not only to mimic other people, but turn his body into a living weapon, growing in size, changing his limbs into weapons like maces and giant hammers. Added to that, he's extremely strong and durable, able to withstand heavy damage even from some of the Justice League's heavy hitters. Matt Hagen's animated series origins are very similar. In fact, it seems as the DC Rebirth version of Karlo hold most of his stories from the animated series origins. Yet how could this work in the context of the world created by Matt Reeves? Thanks for getting this far into the video, and if you're enjoying what you're seeing, why not give this video a thumbs up? It really helps to get this video out to more people like you. And as you guys may have seen on many of my community and Instagram posts, not only do I love reading comics, but I'm an avid figure collector, specifically as of late, the McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. I want to share my go-to spot for the latest and greatest figures. Head over to RamFam Collectibles. Link will be in the description below. RamFam Collectibles is a veteran-owned business putting the customer experience first with a variety of in-stock and pre-ordering options, as well as fast and reliable shipping for every single order. They care because they're collectors too. And for 5% off your first order, use the promo code RAMFAM5. But for now, let's get back to the video. Matt Reeves, from what we have seen in the first Batman film, has created a more grounded world with what seems to be filled with villains that could exist in our reality. That's not to say that we couldn't see superpowered individuals living within that world, but it's more likely that this Clayface will deal with aspects of Basil Karlo that could work within those confines, and for me, that means a more psychologically damaged Karlo. This Karlo could have dissociative identity disorder, which presents in people in the form of multiple personalities with distinct and different character traits that often don't even know that one another exist. These personalities could account for his transformations and could even play into his actor background by having these personalities be prior roles from his films. Many actors in the past have used Chekhov's acting method as a way to completely delve into their role, with some getting so lost in the role that it becomes difficult for them to get out of that role. Heath Ledger used similar techniques when playing the Joker and was at times still in character in between takes. These roles could seep into Karlo's subconscious and come out when his disorder triggers. Dissociative identity disorder is a very rare occurrence in the population, so it could stand that he would also be an inmate in Arkham already being studied by the doctors there. In terms of actual looks, this could play in a couple ways. In the DC Rebirth origins, his father, Vincent Karlo, is a special effects makeup artist known for his monster movies, so either his father could be creating these looks, or Basil could have learned and adapted looks for each of his multiple personalities. In his initial appearance, Basil was a disgruntled actor who was replaced in the remake of his film. In an act of revenge, he donned the mask of the killer Clayface from one of his earlier films, which was reminiscent of the mask worn by Lon Chaney in Phantom of the Opera. He killed the actors in the order that they die in the movie, which seems like it was an inspiration for the plot for Scream 2. This could be his backstory, or provide for an interesting plot throughout the film. On the other hand, a serial killer plot line used back-to-back in the movie could prove derivative after the first film and encourage comparisons to the aforementioned Scream sequel. It seems to be more so that the movie would probably use Clayface as a supporting villain, and use his personalities in different ways which could be revealed close to the climax of the film, and would prove interesting to cast as there would be multiple actors playing the same role within the film. Even if the film goes full Clayface, introducing people with superpowers into the franchise, the psychological aspect of the character I mentioned, including his personality disorder and acting method, would prove to be an engaging villain, whether in the supporting role or main role. That being said, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you see them going the more grounded approach, or do you finally want to see Batman face off against some of the more superpowered villains? That being said, and as always, and have an awesome day. For more DC stories like this, why not watch this video right here?
You know what I'd have given for a death scene like this? Too bad I won't get to read the notices.